Today, we're joined by Dave Basulto. Dave is a mobile video expert. He's an entrepreneur, and he is an award-winning educator. And so, Dave, so happy to have you here today. Would love to kick things off with you sharing a bit about your background and your return to the world of education.
Sure. It's great to be with you, Nick, as always. We've been on this path for a while together. So my background was, well, I went from Wall Street to becoming an actor, to becoming a director, to becoming a producer in Hollywood, working with people like Mel Gibson's company and Lifetime Television, executive producing, calling it quits, and then deciding to sit on the couch until my wife said no more. And then I got an opportunity to teach high school media production and video production, etc. And I thought and I really enjoyed it. And all of a sudden I just fell in love with this job, and the kids were amazing. And right around then, the Apple iPad mini came out, and I was like, this is an amazing tool. I mean, we were using old DSLRs, we were using giant cinema camera things, and it was just, the technology was just lagging behind. So we started to use the iPad, and I thought we could do better with some type of a holder that would allow you to hold it with two hands, to put lights, lenses, microphones on it, and then turned it into this production tool. And then lo and behold, I invented this case system. It turned my life upside down. I left teaching for 10 years to build my company, Iographer. So we built it into a 7-figure brand, just life-changing events. And then COVID hits, everything shuts down. Luckily, live video boomed during that time. But everything shut down. And so I had an opportunity and got asked to come back to teach the same high school. So I went back, and I just found that it's just so drastically different now. People aren't looking to, when I first started, it was like, let's make movies. Let's learn how to make movies. And that was my specific background. But from going all the years of my business, growing it, I knew like live video was important. I knew that getting on social, doing things on that, making videos for my stuff on my website, so show people how to use things, all of that was more important. And that there was a lot of job availability for people going forward to go into that kind of space, that marketing kind of space, storyteller space. The kids nowadays, and you'll find out soon enough when yours get a little older, are stuck to these little tiny devices and watching snippets of things that they like. They don't sit down and watch about 3-hour movies anymore like they used to, or will go run home and watch the television show or whatever. It's on demand. So all of that just been drastically changed, and I'm just loving teaching the kids now how to make their own storytelling time. Like my advanced class, I'm so excited. This is second year we've done this. I call it the brand of you. They're learning how to create a YouTube channel with content that they are interested in. They've researched all the content, and then that's to eventually monetize it and do well. I have one girl who's a junior, who is I think she's going to be in the Olympics one day. She's a black belt in judo. And she wants to empower girls to learn how to do martial arts. And she's getting thousands and thousands of views on her videos. And now we're at the point where we're getting mom and dad involved to open up an affiliate Amazon account and say, well, here's the gi you can buy, or here's the hand wraps, or to start monetizing that and do fun stuff. So kind of doing things out of the ordinary, but things that I think will work. And the kids are just mind blown by the success.
I've heard the quote, like, kids want to be YouTubers, not astronauts, and you're creating the pipeline, doing it.
Well, there are kids in the school that want to be astronauts. I will say that our robotics team is like top in the nation. But then the ones that and it's funny because they're not like, I want to do this makeup tutorial stuff. They're picking unique things. There's another girl that's doing, she was a huge soccer player, and getting recruited as a sophomore to a lot of schools. She's a junior now, but she had a bad injury. So she's doing a whole thing on her recovery with her ACL, and tips and tricks, and for other girls that have this problem. It's just, and then have another kid that's out of the blue turned into a mini chef, and his shorts are getting 5, 6, 7,000 views every time he puts them up. And So they're all building these brands for themselves. So yeah, they may still want to go to college and become doctors and lawyers and whatever, but now they have the ability to also monetize on things that they're interested in, which I think is, I mean, God bless. I wish you and I, when we were kids, right? I mean, I would have done BMX racing, I would have done skateboarding, everything. But of course, I'm old now. You're not. But yeah, so it's just a lot of fun to see them do that.
Yeah, I just had a birthday, so I'm catching up to you, Dave.
Okay.
I love the stories. Now, is this something where you imagine these kids would have done this on their own regardless, or is it because they're in this class, they're thinking in this way, and they're trying new things out? Would love to hear just a bit more about that.
Yeah. So the first intro and intermediate media classes are really learning the tools and the basics of storytelling. And and how to incorporate lots of AI stuff. I've been diving so deep into AI. I just love. I'm so thrilled. I feel like I have an MIT, Stanford, Harvard, Wharton, New York Film School genius in my pocket every day. And so the things that I can come up with, the ideas, the lesson plans, I mean, it's sped up my life incredibly, giving me more time to do other things. I used to spend 2, 3 days making a really good lesson plan. And I literally can do it in 30 minutes now.
But my wife started teaching and she uses Notion, and it's not that it's like doing the work for her. You still have to ask the right questions and organize it and correct it.
You have to be the expert of what you're teaching, but what it can do for you to
Right.
take you to the next level. I just did a YouTube video. I started a whole new channel, just Dave Basulto, to talk about AI tools and teaching. I did one on an app called lovable.dev. And what it does is you type in the prompt and it will create an app or a website for you, a fully working app. Like I created a game. So I'm old and I like text-based games, RPGs from when I was on my first Macintosh. And so build me a game. And it just said, okay, they went through all the coding. Here's the game. It's going to be kind of like Oregon Trail. And it started bringing out all these great things. And then it came up with this great text-based game.
That's the really fascinating part of this for me is like you made an app for a problem that was unique to you,
Mhm.
and like it doesn't have to be for everybody.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solving problems that we have
Mhm.
or in our general, area of expertise or work or whatever. So I'm really excited about that. Then another thing in our classes, so the intro and intermediate classes learn how to edit, just really starting out with like iMovie. Then they go into storytelling and storyboarding. So in Canva, there's all these templates for storyboards. This would have been ginormous for me when I was in the film business because I could have come in and given a presentation about a movie instead of going, I have this great script here. This is what it's about, blah, blah, blah. Now they go into Adobe Firefly, which is a generative AI image tool. And they type in, they start to type in their prompts and learning how to do prompt writing. That this is my first shot where the monster comes to get the guy. And this is the next shot where the guy's running down the street. And so they're learning how to visually tell that to storyboard it before they go and film that. And it's done, so fast and the images are so beautiful. Now they can go and say, I can recreate this and do my best. So they learn all that. And then when they get to advanced class, they know how to do Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. They know how to do most of the generative AI that we use an app called Suno.ai, or now it's Suno.com now, Suno, so that they can create their own music. But yeah, so at that point, I rarely get any kids that are like, you know what, I love what we're doing, but I want to be a Hollywood filmmaker. They're like, no, I want to tell stories and, stuff like that. So,
There's been a lot of fear around AI is going to replace people or take away jobs. In my experience, trying out these new tools, I'm never happy with the first thing that it gives me. It requires constant correction, but it's also a good companion and helping develop ideas and doing things more quickly. And I think these are really important skills to learn to interact with technology in this way because it's just going to keep evolving. And the world is moving so fast. It's less about like knowing one tool inside and out and just that hunger to always be learning.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about the time we're in. I just wish I was 20 years younger.
And so it sounds like some of these students are creating their own YouTube channels around their interests. I know the San Marino High School also has its own channels, and even there's some content that's on the website. Um, how are students participating in things that are outside of, this is just for me versus some of these things that are more for the institution?
So the district had this outside company kind of running stuff for them. So then they approached me, said, "Hey, we want to do better. What do you think about doing something with the kids to create content that's relevant to them, etc." And I said, "Absolutely." So the high school didn't have its own Instagram, it didn't have its own Facebook page, didn't have its own TikTok, which is where all the kids are. Whether or not it'll be here forever, I don't know. Fingers crossed, because I like TikTok. Um, but it didn't have all this reach so that we can go out there and show other kids like, wow, San Marino's got this great robotics program, or they have a great basketball team, and you know what, mom, I kind of want to go here, whatever. So we started the Titan Digital Media Internship Program. So it's in its first semester, actually. We've got about 18 kids who are just thrilled. They got little badges, and they go to all the stuff and shoot everything that we do, and do stories and post things. And that's turned into like thousands of views and lots of traffic. And so it's like marketing. You got to market your school, and they love it. And these are real world things that they can get hired to do in a heartbeat. So that's been a big change this year too. That's another thing added to my plate besides all the other things.
I know I've seen some of the like football games would be an example. It's on sanmarino.com.
Yeah, so we do of course, we use our amazing Switcher Studio, which, no plug here intended. But we go out and film all the sports events. It's really simple to do with your tools and my tools. And so we're gonna, and when I came back to teaching, the previous teacher who took my position wasn't doing any of that. I don't know if it was because she wasn't getting paid to do it, or she didn't like to do it, but that was gone. And the community, when they saw that I was back, says, we want that back. We want to see what's going on. We want to watch the games. And cousin Joni, who lives in Nebraska now, wants to see the game of her. So we have a whole production team that I head. It's an after school class. We meet once a week, but they go do the school plays, the school dance recital stuff, choir.
Are your students using professional gear and HD cameras? Is a lot of the shot on mobile? Is it a mix?
We are, as you can imagine, fully mobile. The big reason for that to me is that the kids, that's what they have in their pockets. And I want them to become great storytellers, using using the tools they have with them. Sure, if they go to the next stage and they want to shoot on a red camera, and I don't even know what it is now, 8, 10K, 12K, something like that. Great, all kinds of cinema lenses. Great, do that. But the schools don't have budgets for that stuff. So why am I gonna? And I'm not gonna get an old, DSLRs that when I go to Best Buy and talk to the people there, they tell me, the point and shoot and those kind of cameras are not selling like they used to. So, the things you have in your pocket, or in your backpack, your iPad or whatever, they're just powerful tools now, and you can do everything on them. So I man them with them, and I love it. I love the challenge when they tell me, but look how much cooler it is when we use, look how much better it looks when we use the DSLR or whatever. And I'm like, no, no, no. Let's try using something like the Black Magic camera, and then we put a LUT on it, so like we give it a nice look, a color look, and then you use depth of field on that. And oh wow, I can do that with so it's just a matter of informing them how to use these tools and what's available out there. And they change their minds pretty quickly.
The Black Magic camera, I think, is such a great example of taking things that used to require a lot of accessories and toys, and
Oh yeah,
it's all in software now.
it's all
With your
software.
phone.
I mean, I'm at a point where the lenses that we sell and all that, trying to be forward thinking about it. Is it going to not be necessary anymore? Can I click on the Blackmagic camera app in a year or two and I say, okay, I want an anamorphic lens, and it just goes and it just changes the everything to an anamorphic lens or whatever, you know?
Now, I don't want to discredit the big guns. The
Oh
nice
yeah.
cameras are nice, but you're
Sure.
trying to teach
If
a
you're going to, if you're working at Paramount on the new Landman show that I think's plugged to the Landman show, if you haven't seen it, really good show. Absolutely. You got $1 million budgets, multi-million dollar budgets,
I may have shared this in one of the other interviews, but when I was in college, we had a cabinet with 3 cameras and you had to check them out. And there was a soundboard and like there were only 4 or 5 computers that had enough horsepower to do like video editing. And it was just like, I don't know, you were only ever to really only able to do like one part of the process for a short period of time versus I think the way that you're going about your class and a lot of media teachers now is by using mobile phones and by using some of these software and tools, everybody gets to taste all of it always. And it's not just in the classroom or just when they have that camera rented out. It's the gear they have on them already. So you're learning about storytelling and lighting and audio and editing. And, it's really, really powerful when you can see all of those come together. There's definitely opportunities to go really deep on any of those and specialize. But until you've tried some of them, like how do you know which one?
No, I mean, like, going back to, Malia is her name, the judo girl. I mean, she was in Japan recently for a tournament. She didn't have to carry a bunch of equipment. She had her phone, and while she was doing her stuff, her dad shot it. And then when they were traveling around Japan, she shot great videos of her travels, and all of that stuff was stored on her device. And when she came home, she edited it in Premiere Pro or whatever and made this great video. Okay, so you don't have to carry around all these things all the time anymore.
So Dave, I know you're doing a lot through San Marino High School, but you also have biographer.com, and you've got your personal brand. Like you are just one of the go-to people in the space for anything mobile video and now AI. I know you recently rolled out a online course for people that are listening or watching this podcast. That's something where we see interest, but unless you've done it before, it can be really overwhelming, and like people don't know where to start or what it could become. And so I would love to have you just unpack a bit. What was your motivation, experience, process in putting together an online video course?
So, going back, I'd done courses in the past, and some successful, some flubbered. And I think the hardest thing was coming up with all the content, the ideas. Shooting it was just shooting it, so that's just a thing. But coming up with all the content and the ideas and everything. What has changed with this new course I did? So the new course is basically about just an entry level. You just got your iPhone, iPad. What do I do now with it? What can I do to be a creator? So I just wanted to do something. And the reason I got to that point of that idea was I pulled a bunch of questions that I had sent to me, emailed to me. I had them on a spreadsheet. And then from there, I went into ChatGPT, which you can use for free. I have a paid version because I do a lot of other things. But $20 a month, come on, to have this MBA in your pocket. So I typed in there, I said, you are the world's greatest content course creator. So I always give my ChatGPT, my prompts, I always give it a persona.
Want
I
to role
wanted to
play?
know, yeah,
Yeah.
who are you? Who are you? So now you know who you are. So I gave it a persona. You're the world's greatest course creator. Then I said, I'm uploading a document of questions that were asked to me throughout the years. I want to make a course kind of surrounded around this type of thing. So I want you to come up with ideas for me. And then I always end it with ask me clarifying questions until you're 95% sure that you can complete the task. So then I upload it, and then it's going to go boom, 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 boom. Oh, here's some questions for you, Dave. Or I already know everything about you. Let's go with it. So it asks a bunch of questions. How many modules do you want? How long does the course want to be? Are you focusing on just iPhones and iPads? Blah, blah, blah. So I answered all these questions, and then it spit out this amazing course content idea. And I'm like, that's a great course.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an outline. Yeah.
Yeah, it gave me a great outline. And I use that all the time for my lesson plans now. for school. So it gave me this outline. I'm like, okay, let's refine it a little bit. And then kept going and then down the rabbit hole as you do. And down to the point where it gave me video scripts. So then I got the video scripts to do, what type of content I should be showing during these video scripts. And it just gave me a roadmap where before I was working with like bullet points and just things like that. And like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I would just go teach and sound semi-intelligent. And, now I've got my teleprompter right here. I can, do all of it like that. And it just sped up the progress so incredibly well, timing things out with so much, for each video. Where before I remember I would just ramble on about one project, one subject, so I was able to crank this course out like in 7 days, where before it might take me a whole summer. ChatGPT helped me create a lead magnet based on what I was doing. I created all that in Canva. I think I got I sent that out to my list, but also put it out on social. And I think I built a list of like 280 people to start, which wasn't, it's not horrible, but, and then out of those, I had about 160 people sign up for, $50 course. That took me a week to make. So, is it millions of dollars? No, but if I get a bunch of these courses now on there, so you learned the basics. Now let's go to the next level and learn intermediate stuff. And then, oh, let's go to advanced. How do you monetize your videos? How do you live stream, etc.? So I'm actually working on one right now. I find a huge void in teacher and education about talking about real tool sets and workflows of using AI. I know a lot of teachers in my school are terrified of it. So my big thing's like inform, learn how to use this, learn how to teach your kids because they're using it and they're using it wrong probably. They're just saying, how do I write this synopsis on Hamlet that the teacher wants, instead of learning how to prompt engineer and using it as a study buddy to work with. So it's been a great year for creating content like that with doing that.
I think, for someone that is listening or interested in doing coursework, they might say, well, Dave like teaches kids how to do video. Dave's done courses before. Like, I know a bunch of stuff, but like this is just too hard. I'm not going to bother. And I heard some things in there. It was questions you'd already been asked, and you were collecting those. You were trying to look at the format or how to break that down into something where it could be teachable. If you were to really peel it back to some of the basics, like I don't think it's out of reach for folks if they really want to go there. But I could see someone saying, "Man, Dave is just a unicorn." And there's only certain people in the world that can make courses, and that's not me. And I would be curious, like, what would you say for someone that might be in that headspace?
So I think everyone's got something interesting to talk about and that they love. I love gaming. I love old retro gaming. I mean, I don't have enough hours in the day to do a whole course on retro gaming, but but there's things that I love, and so I preach that. In fact, you just threw a good idea for me to maybe make a course teaching people how to make their own courses. Just real simple to do. Like, here's your thing. What are you interested in? Here's a worksheet. Work it out. Feed that into ChatGPT. It'll give you 20 ideas of courses you can do that are marketable and interesting. But, then how do I do the course? Well, you know what? Let's ask it to give us 3 modules with 5 videos or 3 videos each in it. Okay, those look great. Let's tweak it. Okay, from there, let's go in there and ask it to write the video scripts for us, because we're not writers. I'm not a copywriter. So let's write a video script and we'll tweak that as well. And then all of a sudden you've got this whole thing. Okay. But how do I get people to watch it? Well, you might have to go on social. I know it sucks, but you might have to do something on social so that you can build your email list. Well, how do I build that? Well, you ask ChatGPT, based on my course, what can I do to make a lead magnet so that someone goes, oh my God, I need that. Like I think the title for the video I just did was, create the app of your dreams with no coding. So that's something that will grab someone's attention. Oh, I like that. Oh yeah, you want to learn how to do this? Click on my free ebook here that ChatGPT will help you write. that you can go into Canva for free and make this lead magnet. And then simply with images and everything. And then you just have to find maybe something like ConvertKit, which is free to use, or there's other email providers. ConvertKit allows you to make a landing page with your lead magnets. So all of a sudden people are collecting, and you're collecting their emails, and you're giving away something of value to them. So now they go, oh, this is a great ebook. I love this. I'm understanding the process. You know what? I need to take Nick's class now to go further. Okay. So that's how you start building relationships. And you know, it's time tested. So, you know, I think anyone just have to put a little hustle into it. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. You got to do a little bit of work, you know.
You know, as you're talking about courses, there was something around passion. It's just if you're interested in something, like that's the spark to be able to
100%.
go there. And I think so many people take for granted how much they know about the things they care about and how valuable that is to other people. You've got to make it a priority to put in the cycles to be able to produce this content. And then you talk about growing an audience or an email list, or like you're not going to hit a home run on your first video. Like very few
Mm-mm.
people make one and go viral. It's because they stick with it. And so I think that persistence and just committing to it, it would be another piece that it may not change your life overnight, but if you stick with it and you keep doing it, when people do engage with your content, there's more for them to go back and keep watching and to get to know and trust you. And those are the things that are going to move them down your funnel to become a lead or to buy a product or service.
Well, that's what's happened with like my advanced kids, going back to them. The ones that, I mean, I will say this, I have 26 kids in that class. Not all of them are remotely like the top. I have some kids that, I have one guy that plays GeoGuessr, which I don't know if you played that game yet, but it's a game that you have to guess where the map is in the world. It's a Google map, and you have so many seconds to guess where that place is. It could be anywhere in the world. He gets like 5-10 views every video, but he's not passionate about it. I keep yelling at him about it. He just likes to play the game. Okay.
Got it.
Whereas my guy Connor, who's
Yeah.
cooking, who everyone wants to see what's Connor making this week.
Hmm.
That's why he's getting 4,000 or 5,000 views on his shorts, and a couple thousand on his videos. And now Connor can build that up and say, oh, I'm going to sell these pots and pans or this
Right.
cookbook, etc. But if you don't have passion for it, forget it. I mean, find something that you do.
For me, that's a bit of the difference in like streaming to Twitch is like people may or may not watch you just doing the thing you're doing for yourself, but at some point you can make it for the viewer. And I think that's when things really start to get interesting.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yep.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for your time. Where can people go to learn more about you and what you're up to?
They can go to iOgrapher if they're interested in mobile video gear, but they can also go to davidbasulto.com, which is my website that I have most of my stuff, my blogs, everything. And then if they want to check out David Basulto on YouTube, that's my new channel. That's all about AI, AI tools and education and how to use them. And we'll be having an AI course coming out soon. So very exciting.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Take care.
Thank you, sir.